My fellow members of the American Solidarity Party, it is with great joy that I humbly accept your nomination for President of the United States. As recent events in Dallas and elsewhere suggest, our nation is in turmoil. We're more divided than ever before. Our political parties are more polarizing than ever in our nation's history. Hatred and anger seem to reign supreme. As we stand on the edge of this precipice, looking down at sure destruction if we continue on our current path, it is our job, yes, even our destiny, to build a bridge across that ravine. It is our mission to rebuild our country into one that can stand forever, based on right and moral principles and policies. As a longtime conservative Republican, I have always been proudly pro-life. But like many, I also supported the death penalty, and oftentimes policies that were detrimental to the poor. These too are pro-life issues and tend to be ignored. Now, over time, I became convicted that the Holy Father, St. John Paul II, was right when he said in Evangelium Vitae, "It is clear that the nature and extent of the punishment must be carefully evaluated and decided upon, and ought not go to the extreme of executing the offender, except in cases of absolute necessity. In other words, when it would not be possible otherwise to defend society." Today, however, as a result of steady improvements in the organization of the penal system, such cases are very rare, if not practically non-existent. Now this, along with an evolving view of economics, made me begin looking for a new political home. In my search, I discovered the American Solidarity Party. My beliefs line up well with those of this party, and the more I study, the more I agree. I believe that even with all of her flaws, the United States is the greatest nation on earth. Why? Because of her people, because of their compassion and respect. While it's true that some do not respect the dignity and rights of others, the vast majority do. Our policies and ideas can help make this country, which is already great, an even better place, a place for all people, all faiths, and all backgrounds. The concepts of solidarity and subsidiarity can work to bring about fairness, equity, and prosperity. They will help to ensure that no corporation will gain an undue amount of influence in our economy or in our politics. And we must work hard to educate all of our citizens about these ideas. Friends, we have much work ahead of us. Our ideas are foreign to the vast majority of the American population. Our first goal is education. We must work to make this nation aware that there are alternatives to the status quo. Now, it's said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, it's time for a different result. Therefore, it's time for different ideas, different actions, and a different direction in American politics. It's time for America to be introduced to the ideas of Christian democracy and the American Solidarity Party. Now, beyond education, we must work together to grow our movement. We must work to get ballot access. We must work to build the state and local parties. Most of all, we must work to change the minds and hearts of our current elected leaders, introducing legislation that furthers our ideas and agenda. Working from the inside and the outside can produce real change. It might be baby steps, but we must crawl before we walk and walk before we run. And I pledge to work with currently elected leaders that might be sympathetic to our positions to help introduce such legislation. And yes, just as in life, we will end up with a few skinned knees and bumps on the head, largely from banging our head against the wall. But these wounds will heal, and we will carry on. When we're knocked down, and we will pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving forward. Jesus told us that if one wouldn't listen, to shake the dust off our sandals and to move on. It will be my honor and privilege to help educate our fellow citizens on what we believe, to grow our party, and to change the face of American politics. I urge you to roll up your sleeves and, to paraphrase Mother Angelica, get off our lead bottoms and get to work. I stand with you and for you. Our success will be a long and difficult process, but no time is more right than right now. The events of recent days indicate that even more strongly that we must be about the work of unifying this nation, to show the world that all lives matter, no matter what race, creed, or conviction we hold. Human dignity must be our number one priority. Economic strength and fairness can help to bring an end to not only poverty, but to poverty-related crime such as theft, gangs, and drug trafficking. So let's roll up our sleeves and dig in. Let's make America the nation that she should and can be, and let's do it together. Thank you once again for this privilege, and may God bless the United States of America.